8 years old.
And you said you're a retired civil servant. What were you doing before your retirement?
Aaron?
What were you doing before your retirement in civil service?
Me, in the civil service, I was a livestock officer in veterinary section.
Okay. And lastly, do you have any religious affiliation and any church standing?
And
Do you have any religious affiliation and do you enjoy an office in church, if you do?
Mr. Speaker, sir, by religion, I am a Catholic, and even when I was in Form 1, I tried to go to Rakwaro Seminary, where I intended to be a priest, but I fell on the way.
Okay, and so you are a Catholic as we speak now?
Correct.
Okay. And Dennis, who was a witness yesterday, is your son, is it true?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And I would like you to be shown the honorable members, the Deputy Governor's defense, page 59 to 62. I would like you to be shown that page 59 to 62. Do you have it? Could you confirm that is the statement that you made in respect to this case?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Now, do you know Dr. Monda?
Mr. Speaker, sir, very well.
You know him. How do you know him?
His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kisii County, Dr. Robert Onsare Monda, we have known each other more than 32 years.
You have been friends for over 32 years.
Yeah.
And apart from being friends, have you stated in your affidavit that you worked together also at various points in your civil service?
Mr. Speaker, sir, yes.
You've worked together. Now, I'd like to move on because of time. And before we go into the details, yes, you are aware, you know what the Dr. Monda, your friend, has been accused of, being that he received a bribe from your son and that he threatened your son. You're aware of those allegations?
The allegation, I don't, yes.
You are aware?
Yes, I do.
You also heard what your son said in testimony, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so let's start with the first thing that your son admitted. Is it true that indeed, throughout the issues that this Senate is going to consider, whenever your son needed anything, he would tell you and then you would tell the Deputy Governor?
No, please.
Did the Deputy Governor have a direct conversation with Dennis?
Mr. Speaker, sir, no.
There's no point at which the two of them spoke directly to each other, isn't it?
It's me who do direct communication to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor.
Okay. And number two, he also said that it is true that the two of you, having been friends, were exchanging favors in terms of money, stocks, and goodwill between the families. Is that correct, over the 32 years?
Mr. Speaker, sir, correct.
Okay. He also said that he relocated from Nairobi to Kisii, to your home state. Is that correct? At a certain point in the year 2023?
If I may explain, I say no. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is me who reallocated my son to move from Nairobi to homeland Kisii.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking you. So basically, it is true that he moved from Nairobi to Kisii sometime in the year 2023, isn't it?
Somewhere 2023, and he came alone without his wife.
Okay. And it is also true, as he says, that you assisted him to relocate?
It is me who assisted him.
To relocate?
Yeah.
How did you assist him?
After he said he had been staying in Nairobi for more than 13 years, and there was little communication, me and my son. Now I decided, because I'm aging, I tried now to see how I can bring all my children together. Then I made an effort to look for him. Then somewhere between April and May, between April and May, I called him back to home.
Mr. Misati, just let me manage, because of time, let me just manage what you're saying. So basically it was, whose idea was it for him to relocate?
Pardon?
Whose idea? Was it your idea or?
It was my idea, Mr.
It was
Speaker,
your
sir.
idea, and you facilitated his relocation?
Correct.
Okay, let's move on then. Now, he says that your testimony, both at the assembly and your testimony today, which is captured in your statement, is meant to cause him to lose his money. What do you have to say about that?
But what?
That you want him to lose, what you're doing is to frustrate him getting back his money. What do you have to say about that?
That one, because I've not reached there, I don't know which money.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, then you want us to deal with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change my approach, then we come back. Let's then talk about the real issue that we are here about. Is it true that a certain sum of money was paid out to Dr. Monda on the 28th of May, 2023?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
It is true. Could you tell this Senate, this Honorable Senate, how that money was remitted?
Mr. Speaker, sir, on 28th of May, 2023, as usual and as friends, it is me who made appointment to see His Excellency the Deputy Governor at his home. And when I went with my 3 sons to his home. And as we were seated, had some social discussion with His Excellency the Deputy Governor about 20 meters from where I left my sons. That's the time the TG told me that he had given me money somewhere in October, November 2022 after elections, 500 shillings. Now, he asked me whether I'm in the position to refund his money. And in that connection, I told him, yes, I can try to refund the money. Then from my joint account with my wife, I transferred money from my account to His Excellency the Deputy Governor 73 times, and then 41,000, making 251. Now, because as we were discussing, he told me that he needs some money in cash. Then I told him now, because I don't have money in cash, what I'll do is to instruct my wife so that he can send money to my son, Dennis. And my wife did that by sending 250,000 in that process to go on to withdraw in the nearest market. But when we tried to get that money, it was late. And there was no shop which had that float. Therefore, I instructed my son to transfer that money to his deputy governor, to His Excellency the Deputy Governor, Dr. Monda.
Okay. So I would like us to look at your statement and just to take the honorable senators through the payments, and I would like you to go to page 60, paragraph 11 of your statement, and I would like to correlate that with page 65 to 66, page 11 correlated with page 65 to 66. Are you at page 65? Okay, in paragraph 11, you're saying that I therefore refunded by paying 251 directly from my cooperative bank. You can see that at paragraph 11.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
And then, so you paid 70,000 3 times and 41,000. I would like us to go to page 65. Are you at page 65?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Could you confirm at page 65 that the remittances of 70,000 is reflected 3 times there? At
Yes,
page
Mr.
65?
Speaker.
And I want you to turn over to page 66. Is it true that 41,000 is shown there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And could you confirm that this is money that was pulled out of your account, the joint account of yourself and your wife, directly to the M-Pesa account of Dr. Monda?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And the name of the account is Joseph D. Misati and Anna N. Misati, isn't it?
Correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Now let's move on to paragraph 12. At paragraph 12, you said, I thereafter asked my wife to remit the balance of 249,000. I instructed her to remit the amount to my son Dennis. You can see that?
Correct, Mr. Speaker.
I would like to take you to page 75. '75 to 88, and I want us to go specifically to page 87. Are you at page 87? Your wife's M-Pesa statement is page 75 to 88, honorable members, the DG's bundle. And I would like you to go to page 88 particularly. Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Could you confirm that between 2001 and 1941, between the hours 1944 and 2001, your wife remitted the sum of 50,000, 50,000, and 150,000 to Dennis Misati as he appears on the face of that M-Pesa?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. And that constitutes a total of how much?
250,000, Mr. Speaker.
250,000. Now, what was the purpose of this remittance of the money?
The purpose of this remittance to my son, Dennis.
Sorry, no, I mean, so we've seen you pulled out 250 from your cooperative account and another 250 from your wife through Dennis, isn't it?
That's correct.
And then you sent to Dr. Monda, isn't it?
I instructed my son to send.
That's okay. So you sent it to Dr. Monda, this total of 500, isn't it?
Correct, Mr.
What
Speaker.
were you giving this 500,000 to Dr. Monda for? Why? What?
It was a refund, Mr. Speaker, sir, the money which he gave me in October 2022.
So it was a refund.
Yeah.
Number two, whose money was this?
The money was mine.
It was
yours.
yours.
Ours.
Sorry?
It was ours.
What does ours mean? Who and
I
who?
mean, me and my wife.
It was yours, you and your wife.
Yeah.
Was Dennis part of the ownership of that money, the 500,000?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay. Dennis says that he had given you this money and the two of you were holding this money on his behalf and that he gave you in cash. Is that true?
It's untrue, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It's not true that he had given you any money. It is not true that he had given you any money.
It's not true that he gave me any money.
Okay. And this money was yours with your wife?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Now, and your position is that it was a refund. Was it a bribe?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It was a refund, not a bribe.
Yeah, so it was a refund.
Okay. Now, let's just digress a little before we come back to the 300,000. You said, were you seated first of all, you said you went with how many sons?
3.
Was it 3 or 4 sons?
Okay. No, you see now I'm not counting the driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many were you? How many sons did you go with?
4.
4 sons. And yourself. You were 5 people in the Deputy Governor's house.
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Who initiated the idea of going to visit the governor?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's me.
It is you who said, how did you initiate it?
This is not the first time if I need to.
Because of time, just go answer my question directly.
Pardon?
Just answer my question directly. How was the idea of going to visit the governor?
Through a call.
By who?
By me.
To who?
To His Excellency, the Deputy Governor.
So it is you who requested to go and see him?
Correct.
And when your son says in his statement and in his affidavit that it is the deputy governor who summoned you, is that correct?
No,
That's
Mr.
not
Speaker,
correct.
sir.
Okay, let's move on. Now, you said, were you then 5 people seated together, 6 people, you, deputy governor, and your 4 sons, were you seated together when this money is changing hands?
No, we were not seated together, and I think I'm repeating that after we entered his house, me and His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Dr. Robert Monda, we moved aside about 20 meters to have our own social discussions.
So you went aside, the 2 of you?
Correct.
And the boys remained 20 meters away?
That is it.
Did they participate in your conversation?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And so when Dennis says they sat far away from you and that they did not participate in your conversation, that is true?
That is true.
Okay. Now, then at paragraph 14, it is said that you received, there is another 300,000 that was given to the deputy governor, paragraph 14. It is said, Dennis says there was another 300,000 that was given in cash. What do you have to say in respect to that 300,000?
Mr. Speaker, sir, that's untrue, because if you look at my balance in the cooperative bank, I had more money if I were to give the 800 alleged.
And I just want you to answer directly. Dennis says you and him walked to the deputy governor's office at the stadium and handed over 300,000 in cash. That's what Dennis says. You've seen that, isn't it?
Yes.
And my question is that true?
Untrue, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Okay. Did you ever give the deputy governor any 300,000 over and above the 500? Is there any other, apart from the 500 that we've seen, is there another 300,000 that you gave him?
There is no anyway. I've given you the 300,000.
As Dennis says, okay. Now, I would like to move on to, at paragraph 16 to 17, it is said that this issue has been reported to EACC. You are aware of that contention that it has been reported to EACC, isn't it?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You're not aware?
I'm not aware.
But you are aware that Dennis says he has reported to EACC?
Yeah, I have heard.
You've heard from Dennis?
Yeah.
Now, the bank statement, the bank account from which the money was drawn is your cooperative bank account and your wife's M-Pesa account, isn't it?
That's it.
Has EACC summoned you to record a statement on that issue?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
They haven't, up to today.
Up to today.
Has your wife been summoned on this issue?
No, please.
Okay. Now, it is said also that Dennis wrote a demand letter for the payment. You saw that claim by Dennis, isn't it? A demand letter.
I've not seen that letter.
Just a minute. You are aware that Dennis says he wrote a demand letter to the deputy governor saying, give me back my 800,000. You saw that claim by Dennis, isn't it?
That claim, yes.
You saw that.
Yeah.
Is it true that you have ever seen a demand letter from Dennis?
Pardon?
Have you seen any letter demanding?
No,
return
Mr. Speaker, sir.
You've not seen. It is said also by Dennis that threats were made at him. Dennis says the deputy governor threatened me. You've seen that?
I have not seen that, Mr. Speaker.
And I'm saying you are aware that Dennis says that you threatened him.
Me? I threatened him?
No.
Or who?
So Dennis says that the deputy governor threatened him, threatened Dennis.
No, please.
No, I'm saying, are you aware of that claim by Dennis?
I'm aware.
You are aware?
Yes, please.
Now, are you aware of any threat emanating from the deputy governor to Dennis?
No, please.
Okay. Now, he says that threat was communicated to you, that the deputy governor told you, go and tell Dennis to keep away, or because he's trying to climb a mountain he cannot climb. That's what he says, the words he used. Were you sent by the deputy governor at any time to communicate any threat to Dennis?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So when Dennis says the deputy governor sent you, your position is that you were never sent with any such threat?
I've never. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Then it is also said that Dennis sold a saloon. Are you aware of any saloon that Dennis had and or sold?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You are not aware. Now, because of time, I'll just be brief on this other issue of other assistance. Is it, you heard Dennis say that you have been assisting each other for long, and you've just already admitted that, isn't it?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Could you confirm that at paragraph 6 of your affidavit, you said how you have been consoling each other when you are bereaved together with the deputy governor? I'm just referring to the paragraph for the benefit of the honorable senators.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And that specifically, Dr. Monda was there when you lost your mother, and you are there for him when he lost his daughter. You lost your mother in the year 2001, and he lost his daughter in 2018, and the two of you were together.
That's correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Sir.
At page, and you also borrowed each other acrobat stock as stated in paragraph 5, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And then at page 67 of your bundle, at paragraph 24, you said that in the month of January 2024, over time, you've borrowed a total sum of 600,000 from Dr. Monda for various purposes.
Yeah, about 600,000 for my personal use.
And that you've captured at page 68, 71, and 70, the various amounts.
Correct.
Okay. And then at page 117A, you've shown there's another amount of 50,000. Could you go to 117? So the one we were just talking about at page 68, 71, and 70 was in the month of January 2024, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then at page 117A, you received another 50,000. Whom did you receive that 50,000 from?
His Excellency, the Baron?
Is it true that you received a sum of 50,000 in the year 2014 from Joyce Monda?
Yes, Your Excellency.
And who is Joyce Monda?
Joyce Monda.
Actually, Joyce Onsare, let's say.
Joyce Onsare.
Yes, who is she?
Is the wife of the Deputy Governor of Kisii.
Okay. And what was the basis of this money? What was it?
This is a usual transactions we have been making by borrowing, refunding, receiving, and refunding.
Okay. Lastly, in terms of the favors you give each other, I would like you to look at page 108 to 117. Page 108 to 117 is the bank statement of one Leah Onsare. Can you see that?
Yes.
Page 108 to 117. Who is Leah Onsare?
Leah Onsare is
Leah Nyanjera Onsare. Who is she?
Leah Nyanjera Onsare is the daughter of His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kisii.
And is it at page 111, there is a sum of 200,000 from Joseph Misati and Anna. That is your joint account. There is money from, there is Joseph Misati, Anna. You can see that?
Yes.
200,000.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Yes. Could you tell the court what was happening, sorry, the Senate, what was happening there?
This money, the DG, he instructed me to send this man to his daughter.
Why?
As usual, we have been assisting each other.
Yes.
Then that day after, she was to refund.
Sorry? She was to refund?
Correct.
Who needed the money?
According to this, it is I was instructed by the DG.
Yes.
To send money to his daughter.
Who needed the money? Was it the DG or what is the position?
The money was needed by his daughter.
So the daughter needed money, and why wasn't the DG sending the money to his daughter?
That one I cannot explain.
You can't explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Misati, just look at me. Did you see the deputy governor instructed you Was he giving you instructions or he was requesting you?
Okay, you know English. He requested me.
So he wasn't instructing you, he
Not
was
instructing,
requesting.
please.
Okay. And lastly, I now was told I have 5 minutes. Lastly, you said that your son said you were lying. Unasema uongo ukikuja hapa. What do you have to say about that you are lying?
That's, I can say that's not true.
You're not lying.
No, I love all my sons.
Yes.
I have 6 sons in total.
Yes.
And all of them except one,
Yes.
they have gone through, they are graduates, others have done masters.
All your children are graduates, others are postgraduate already.
Correct.
Masters. And you love all of them.
I love them equally. That's why you can also establish this.
Yes.
That's why I usually, when I want to go to some place, they accompany me.
They take you with them because you are munapendana.
That's it.
And you relocated Dennis' wife from Nairobi?
I think if I may repeat that when somebody is going to...
I am out of time. I just want to say...
Okay, I want them just to be near me.
Yes. Was it out of a desire to punish him or out of affection that you needed to take care of his welfare?
I wanted just to come near me and get some blessings before.
Okay. To take blessings?
Yeah.
Before what again?
No, that one is unlimited.
You want to withdraw that?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about appearing here with your son before a national senate to banter words with him? How do you feel?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm really very sad.
You're very sad.
Very sad because this is my son and it's me who paid his school fees to his daughter who's schooling at St. Mary's Nyabururu boarding.
So you take care of the fees for his daughter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is there any relationship between the paying of fees for his daughter and the 600 you borrowed from Dr. Monda in January 2024?
The 600 which His Excellency the Deputy Governor gave me in January in various dates, some of the money I used to pay school fees for my granddaughters, including the Dennis's daughter.
Okay.
Only, you can allow me, only after paying school fees, my son disappeared from my home.
Okay, so your son has disappeared. My time has gone out, so I just want to hand you over for cross-examination. But before I do that, could you confirm, even after this session, do you still love your son?
Aaron?
Do you still love him, notwithstanding these proceedings?
That is my son. I love him.
Yes.
And I want him to come back with his wife.
Yes. And they said his wife had a miscarriage. Are you aware of that?
You know, some things like that one,
Yes.
I cannot say because I can say no.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's only that she told me that she was sick.
Yes.
And then I took her to the hospital and I used money to treat her.
So you relocated him from Nairobi, you paid for his daughter, you took care of his wife.
Correct.
And you're prepared to continue doing that?
Always.
Okay. And are you happy to have your sons, including Dennis?
That's my son, and I'm
You're
very happy
about
because
that?
it's only that yesterday when I met him, he knows me.
Okay, I'm handing you over, but it is lucky that you didn't become a priest, isn't it? Then you wouldn't have Dennis and the others.
Pardon?
I'm told that my time is up. You will be asked a couple of questions by my colleague. They might not be as polite as I am, but just be strong.
Honorable Senators, let us now have the council representing the County Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. It's always a pleasure to listen to my senior, Mr.
And
Keegan.
council, you have 15 minutes.
Yes, Mr.
15
Mutua will
minutes.
take the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I want to assure my learned friend, I'll be very kind to Mr. Misati. I respect him and I will accord him that respect. Thank you. Mr. Misati, good morning.
Morning to you.
I will continue from where my learned friend has left. You confirmed that you are aware that the wife to Dennis got sick at some moment and you intervened by taking her to hospital.
I've said yes.
When was that?
I cannot recall the date, Mr. Speaker, sir. But it was
this year or last year?
Somewhere June.
Somewhere June.
Yeah.
That was last year. Last year
That's
in June.
2023.
2023. And that is the time when the announcement was made on the filling of the recruitment at the Guasco company, isn't it?
No, please.
Is it after or before?
It is after.
After, thank you. You have also said that you have been long-term friends with the deputy governor, and that is very clear from your transactions. That 2 years, you said, right?
Correct, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You have been colleagues, and he has been your boss, and you under him in the veterinary department, correct?
That is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
And you continued and extended that friendship beyond retirement.
Even up to now?
Even up to now. You would describe that friendship to be very tight and very close, isn't it?
That's one is very relative.
But how would you describe it? He's your friend.
Friend?
That friendship is close and tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very tight. You would not want then to witness your tight, close friend going down through an impeachment process, would you?
That's very true.
Would you want to see your close, tight friend of that 2 years go down through an impeachment process? Would you like to see that?
He's a friend, of course. And anything which is against him, I will never wish that.
Thank you. So then you will do whatever is it within your powers to defend and protect him when he's faced with challenges, like he has stood up for you previously.
But not through instructions.
Not through instructions.
Yeah.
But he is your friend, and that's something you would willingly do.
It's a willing behavior.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have also said that, and while I'm still at that, you have confirmed in your affidavit appearing at page 59 of the DG's response that you have been asking favors from each other, including seeking job opportunities for your children. Is that correct?
Like any other person.
But in this case, we are talking about you, not any other person.
That's correct.
That's correct. So you've been seeking those favors?
Not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
Specifically, in this case, you have deponed on affidavit that you did approach the deputy governor and ask him to assist in the employment of your son, Dennis Mokaya. That is your evidence, correct?
That's true.
That is true.
Yes.
So you're not disputing that you approached him and you promised to assist.
I cannot dispute that one, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Which position were you asking him to assist in the recruitment?
Okay, somewhere in April 2023, there was an advert at Wasco, of which I saw it through the newspapers. And because I was trying to bring my son back home, and then I informed my son to go through the website and look for the application.
So it was you who approached your son and notified him of a possible vacancy at Guasco?
It is me who informed my son.
Thank you. And subsequently, you asked the deputy governor before shortlisting to assist in that recruitment?
No, please. Me, I went to a governor's place after the interview was done.
After the interview was done, correct, at whatever time. Now, the deputy governor of Kisii does not sit in the interviewing panel of Guasco, does he?
Okay, that one.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Does he or does he not sit in the recruitment panel of Guasco? Yes or no?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. How was the deputy governor supposed to assist in the recruitment of your son if he does not sit in that panel?
By that, Mr. Speaker, sir, in any case, when you are having some social discussion, there are some things you pass through your friend.
I am asking you a very simple question. How was the deputy governor supposed to assist in the recruitment for an office he is not in charge of recruitment? How was he supposed to assist? It's a very simple question. How was he supposed to assist?
You know, what I can repeat is that when you have got something and you have some social discussions with your friend, you just mention by the way.
You were inviting the deputy governor to use his power and influence to secure that job, isn't it? As the deputy governor of Kisii.
That one I never influenced.
That is not what I'm asking. The governor was supposed to use his position as the deputy governor to assist in the recruitment, isn't it?
That one I can say yes or no.
It cannot be both, Mr. Witness. We cannot have two answers.
Witness, just give the correct position. What is your position on the questions that you are being asked? These are very straight questions you are asked anyway.
He was supposed to use his position to assist the recruitment of your son as your friend, isn't it?
He was not to use his position, but he was to use as a friend, not a position of a deputy governor.
But he was supposed to ensure that happens.
That one I cannot say because he never got the job.
Never got. But suppose he got the job. I'm talking about your request. What was he supposed to do in your understanding to make sure that that job was secured?
What he was to do, that one I cannot tell.
But he was supposed to pull some strings and ensure that happens.
In any way, the way it was to use, I cannot tell the House.
But somehow he was supposed to use some means to have that request.
If he was to use his way or strength or his position, I would have gotten that position.
Thank you. Mr. Misati, then, if the deputy governor was to intervene in that process of recruitment, would that process be competitive, fair, and just, or it would have been as a result of influence from his position as the deputy governor?
What we are talking now is what happened.
Pardon?
What we are talking now, Mr. Speaker, sir, is what happened.
Yes.
And if the position was competitive and my son was not taken, therefore, he never qualified.
But the deputy governor was meant to influence the outcome based on your request, because you did not want any other person to get that job but your son, isn't it?
But you know, influence very relative, Mr. Speaker, sir. I can say that
What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Chair, I think you need to remind the witness that he is under oath and his responsibility to answer truthfully and not be evasive or argumentative in his answers. Because I'm getting very frustrated listening to the answers. I am unable to discern the answers that are coming from the witness.
Okay, Senator Sifuna, from where I sit, you know, I cannot be able to tell whether it is truthful or not, but he should.
That's what I'm saying.
What he should do,
all he needs
what
to do
he
is
should do is to answer specific questions as they
That's
are.
what I'm saying. That's
Some
what
of
I'm
the
saying,
questions
Speaker.
are just a yes or no.
Correct.
But from where I sit, I cannot be able to tell whether it is truthful or not. The judges
Speaker,
in this room will be able to
Speaker,
determine that.
fortunately for me, you know, I'm seated here as a judge.
I have heard you, Senator Sifuna.
Yes, please let him just answer the question.
I don't want to open that route. I've ruled that the witness should answer questions directly as he is asked. Let us not go into that route of more point of orders, kindly, honorable senators.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Witness, when you approached your friend of that 2 years, the Deputy Governor of Kisii, on this request, what was his response?
Mr. Speaker, sir, as I've mentioned earlier, when I went to his home, it's only that we discussed some social discussions, including looking for employment opportunities of education.
Mr. Witness, my question is specifically, when you made the request for Dennis Mokaya to be employed at Guasco as the commercial manager, what was the response of the Deputy Governor? It's a very clear question, please avoid stories.
Okay, when I mentioned, he just told me that there are some factors which follow for an employment, and if he has done the interview and he qualifies according to what the Board of Management of Guasco, he will be called.
Did he promise to assist or not?
He never promised that he was to assist me.
Let us proceed. You have alleged that on 28th of May, you and Dennis, together with your other sons, visited the Deputy Governor's home, correct?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
It was not usual for you and your sons to visit the Deputy Governor. It doesn't happen occasionally, isn't it?
It is usual.
When was the last time you and your sons visited the Deputy Governor?
Okay.
Specifically Dennis, with
Yes.
Dennis.
Okay, Dennis, I told you that he has been away for the last 13 years.
Correct.
Now, as he came back, I want just to show him the love I own towards him. In any function I was going, I want to go with him with others.
That was not a function, Mr. Joseph. It was a visit. Was it a function?
It's a feast, a function, a feast, and anything like that.
What was the function about?
A function can be a funeral.
I'm asking this specific one on 28th. Was it a funeral?
No, it was a
Was
feast.
it a wedding?
It was a feast,
What kind of a feast was it?
social feast.
How many other people in attendance, apart from you and your sons?
No, there were other feasters who were in a DG's office, house.
You have not mentioned that in your affidavit.
But those ones were of their own company. I cannot mention because I never knew their names.
You also stated that on that very day, you had a discussion with the Deputy Governor, and the boys, making reference to your sons, sat at a distance, and you engaged the Deputy Governor secretly, correct?
That is true, Mr. Speaker, sir.
You also stated that you sent some money from, or rather money was sent from your cooperative account to the Deputy Governor's mobile number. How much was that amount? The one that was sent directly from your account to the Deputy Governor's phone.
Mr. Speaker, sir, 251,000.
251,000.
Yeah.
At that time, your account still had money, a balance of 1.3 million, correct?
Correct.
What was the essence of then requesting your wife to send money directly to Dennis, for Dennis to transmit to the Deputy Governor, when you would have done that directly from your cooperative account if it was a debt?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it was for my financial management.
Your financial management.
Yes.
You also stated in your affidavit that, and I want to refer you to paragraph 12 and kindly read that paragraph. Page 60, Honorable Senators, at the DG's response. This is what you stated under oath. Paragraph 12, kindly read, Mr. Joseph, and save our time.
I then asked my wife to remit the balance of 249,000. I instructed her to remit the amount to my son, Dennis Misati, for him to pay as we sat together. My wife then sent 250,000 to my son, Dennis Misati, on the same date by remittances of 50,000, 50,000 again, and 150,000, making a total of 250,000.
Proceed to 13.
Then I instructed my son to remit that's an error there, 249,000 to His Excellency the Robert Monda, which he did. The balance of 1,000 partly to cover transaction charges.
There is no mention whatsoever in your affidavit on oath, Mr. Joseph, that that money was first sent to your son to go and withdraw and bring it in cash. That is not stated in this affidavit, is it? You instructed your son specifically to send the money to the deputy governor. That is your statement on oath, isn't it?
That is, Mr. Speaker, sir.
That is your statement on oath, yes or no?
No.
That is what you have just read, Mr. Joseph, and there is a reason why I made you to read. This is what you stated specifically under oath when you had the time to prepare this statement. Isn't it what you stated on oath?
Yes, this is what I stated, but...
Thank you. You have answered the question. This is what you stated.
Correct.
You have now come to the Senate and you're changing that statement.
I'm not changing. It's after the discussion when we are with His Excellency the Deputy Governor that he needed some cash.
Mr. Misati,
correct.
That discussion had taken place by the time you were putting this affidavit into writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that fact was available to you when you were writing this affidavit. Mr. Speaker, sir, kindly, may I have an additional 5 minutes? With
Council,
much humility,
this communication was well put before we started this witness. And you are aware that still we are challenged by time.
5 more minutes, I really beg.
The former chair was here and done a very good communication, and I don't want to change the rules of the game midway.
Mr. Speaker,
maybe
sir,
1 minute as you wind up.
Kindly 5, because this has been a difficult witness to answer your question.
2 minutes, Council. 2 minutes only.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Now, you had that information by the time you were reducing it into an affidavit, isn't it?
Baron?
You had that information that the deputy governor had requested for cash and not through an M-Pesa. That information was with you when you were writing this affidavit.
It was, but...
Thank you. That's the answer I wanted. Yet you did not reduce it into writing. You are telling us for the first time today at the Senate, isn't it? Today is the first time you're making that allegation at the Senate. That is a very simple question, isn't it?
Correct.
Thank you. You also stated that you were in the company of your other sons, and one of them is your driver, correct?
That is it, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What is the name of your son who is also your driver?
Jared Misati.
That is the person who runs your errands and is very close to you because he's always with you, we presume, as your driver, isn't it?
That's very untrue.
He's always with you as your driver.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I think he's lying.
I am asking a question. How would I be lying? I am not giving evidence. Are you telling us that your own son who is your driver is not your close friend and you're not with him most of the times as you make your movements?
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Is that yes or it's a yes or no?
But I've got some bit of explanation before I say yes or no.
Just give a yes or no, then I will decide whether to allow you to explain or not.
Can you repeat your question?
I am asking, most of the times, this son you have with your driver is with you and runs errands with you. True or false? Correct?
No, that's not true.
Mr. Witness, is there a place you go without him as your driver? You do not drive yourself, he drives you.
Okay. Everywhere I go, because I don't have any other person to drive me, my son, who is at home and who is yet to be employed, and who is older than Dennis, he always takes me where I want to go.
That's what you should have said from the very beginning. Thank you.
Council, your 2 minutes are over.
Thank you. The very last one.
No, Council, now
just on that issue, I was building up on that issue.
You are abusing my magnanimity. Kindly, let us get the other counsel.
There will be a lot of prejudice on my part if I do not conclude on that issue. Mr. Speaker, you will note that this has been
So
a
it
very
is up
difficult.
to you to utilize the 2 minutes that I give you.
Thank you.
You know, if you keep on asking for more time and I've directed you what to do, why don't you shoot your questions that we want to achieve?
The problem, Mr. Speaker,
I
sir,
think,
has been,
honorable senators, if the witness has those weaknesses, you are the people to determine this case.